Saw The Grudge. The Grudge. Before this review, please consider subscribing by just subscribing below and tapping on that bell for future notifications for future Strange Planet NYC content. So The Grudge. Okay. It came out this weekend. I went to see it. And, God, I haven't seen any reviews. I purposely did this because I didn't want to hear anybody's opinion about it. Because I wanted my opinion to be very pure. Like, I didn't want anything being thrown in my ears. However, I did overhear a lot of bad, negative reviews. Rotten Tomatoes, I mean, forget it, it's not even tomatoes anymore. It's like weeds. As you know, The Grudge is based off of the 2004 or 2003 original Japanese film called Ju-on, or if I'm pronouncing it right. And, it's about this house in Tokyo, Japan, that has a curse on it because of a horrific murder that happened among family members. Apparently, whoever even steps into the house, they get infected with this curse, and then it follows them wherever they go, and it's a horrible thing. And they, as soon as they did as soon as the original Japanese one came out, it was a hit. It was a horror hit. And then they did an American version with Sarah Michelle Gellar in 2004, around that time, followed by The Grudge 2, which also did very well in the box office. Definitely a creepy movie. I have both of them on DVD, both films, including the original Japanese version. Pretty good. Then they kept on coming out with other versions of it. Grudge 3, and then they had Grudge versus The Ring, which was, what the heck was that about? And what was bugging me out was that over time, it just kind of like stayed away for a while, right? Kind of forgot about it. Lo and behold, a few months ago, we got a preview to what I thought was actually a remake of the original Grudge. Turns out it's not a remake. It's actually a sequel of sorts, connected directly to the original film. Which actually I appreciated. Now, you may be asking, well, Ralph, didn't this movie suck? Okay, I see how it sucked. I wasn't scared. Horror movies are supposed to scare you. This didn't really scare me. It had its jump moments, and I did jump on a couple of moments. However, it wasn't impactful in regards to its scare delivery. It wasn't impactful in regards to its overall spirit of horror that it's supposed to have. It didn't happen. This, what, I kind of started learning something real quick. For one thing, I have an issue with remakes, and I thought I was walking into a remake, and this turned out to be a sequel of sorts. Yet it's called The Grudge. It's not called Grudge 5 or whatever. It's not that. But in this film, what captivated me was the story plot. The storyline. The storyline is, for me, what saved this film. I found the storyline very strong, very connected. I was able to relate to the characters involved. There were about, I think 3 up to 4 families that, as indirectly affected they were with the original events of The Grudge, got affected. Because, once again, it has to do with this connectivity to the curse. Once you expose yourself to the curse, it follows you to your home. It drives you insane. Terrible things happen. You hear that sound. Terrible at it. I can't do it as well as it does. It's creepy. And it had its creepy moments. Don't get me wrong. However, it wasn't mind-blowing creepy. It wasn't, oh my God, I need to leave all my lights on at home creepy. It didn't do that at all for me. Not one bit. What it did do was get me to appreciate and enjoy a strong, solid story that connected directly to the original film, which was creepy, which was scary. And it kind of showed what would happen. In the beginning of the movie, you see this lady, this American woman, coming out of the original house from The Grudge. You could tell it's the original house. And she's talking to her family on the phone like she needs to go back home. Apparently she was there in Japan for a reason, maybe to make extra money or whatever. But she went back home to Pennsylvania. And the setting is back in 2004. So there's no iPhones yet. There is the flip phones. And you see that in this movie. The movie takes place within a range between 2004 and 2006. And everything else that comes in between. And how it evolved from as soon as this lady came back with the curse to Pennsylvania in the United States, right here in the United States, all the way to the events of 2006, which affects this widow who's a police officer, like an undercover cop, with her son who's trying to like start a new life and a new place. But, unfortunately, due to these events of the original from the family in the beginning of the movie, she touches base with that. And, her curiosity gets the best of her. And, of course, this grudge thing is kind of like an infection. It's like once you sneeze and you walk into where the germ is, you catch the germ. It really is. It's really kind of like that. And the concept of that may be quite played out at this point. But it is not altogether that unoriginal. Remember, this is in the same universe. This is in the same idea. Sam Raimi, who's known for Evil Dead and all, especially for Evil Dead, that's like his baby right there. He's one of the producers of this, and I actually saw his cinematic signature in this film, which I appreciated very much so too. So I'm gonna give The Grudge, since it's a horror film, I'm gonna give it 3 coffee cups. And then the reason why I give it 3 coffee cups is not because of the scare element, because like I told you, it's virtually non-existent. What made it for me was, again, the solid story. It was a good story. Like, had somebody told me the story of this movie without me saying the movie, I would be captivated by it. I would be like, holy snap, really? Like, I wouldn't dismiss it as being, oh God, that's all that horrible. Now, granted, other people are not going to agree with this, but maybe I'm one of those few idiots that do. For overall, I do appreciate The Grudge. Now, speaking of horror, I want to say on my channel right here, right now, that Horror and Coffee is going to be making a comeback on its own channel with myself and my buddy Vic in 2020. I'll keep you notified of when we start shelling out those episodes. It's going to have a new look, a new feel, new approach. And I'm looking forward to working with my buddy Victor again for Horror and Coffee. But nonetheless, what are your thoughts about the new release of the 2020 version of The Grudge, the first official horror film release of 2020? Talk to me, comment below, and share with me what you think of The Grudge. This is Ralph Perez from Strange Planet. Take care.